Hey everybody, in today's video, we're going to talk about something that is extremely important, but also highly undervalued and undertaught. And it is really something that allows us to be able to release tension in our upper body, our upper neck, our shoulders, and can help relieve headaches. It can help relieve tension that builds up in there. It also allows us to perform better and to also recover faster as well when we're going through hard workouts. And that is how to breathe. But not just how to breathe, but how to breathe with your diaphragm and diaphragmatically breathe. So what I'm gonna do today is take you through a few different steps on how to progress, first off, learning how to diaphragm breathe, and then how to progress and take it kind of another level up to increase your ability to breathe through the diaphragm in different positions as well. So basically, number one it starts with is what is the posture of your upper body? So the base of this, we're gonna lie down, but I'm just gonna stay kneeling here so that you can see some of the changes. So number one is we have to have good posture as we go through this, otherwise our diaphragm is not gonna work very strongly, essentially. So if my shirt is tighter, kind of right here, you can see that my rib cage is kind of out a little bit, and this is just kind of my natural standing here. But what I want you to do is before we start thinking about diaphragm breathing, is I want you to breathe out and set the rib cage. So basically when I breathe out, you can see my rib cage drop. And now what I want to do is hold my rib cage there as I start to breathe, okay? So this is what I'm going to have you think about when we start here. So I'm going to have you lie down on your back. And we are going to have one hand on the chest, one hand on the belly. And as we do that, number one, first thing is do that full exhale. Keep the rib cage down. And then as I breathe in, I'm going to breathe in using just my belly. And you notice that as I breathe, my chest doesn't raise up at all. It is only my belly that's raising up. Breathe in and then breathing out. Maybe if I can give you a little bit of a review here. And that is diaphragm breathing. That's the very first step of diaphragm breathing. But if we're arched and we have our back up off the floor and that rib cage is raised up, it's much harder to be able to use the diaphragm and do that belly breath. So that's why I want you to breathe out. Depress that rib cage, and then the hand on the chest and the belly just allows you to feel what is moving and what's not. And we really just want to focus on that belly. So number one piece of homework is to do that belly breath 10 to 15 reps once you wake up in the morning, before you go to bed at night, and to get 10 to 15 perfect reps. Okay, if you go through a rep and it kind of looks like this, that's exactly where we want to be. But if it looks like this one, and my chest raised up a little bit there, then we don't want to count that one. So just count 10 to 15 perfect breaths. Then the next step there is to find your hip bone, find the bottom of your ribs, and I want you to stick your finger into the soft part of your stomach there on both sides. And what I want you to think now, instead of just raising your belly up, is I want you to think about expanding all the way out around through your entire core. So I'm going to push in with my fingers and create a little bit of pressure there. And as I breathe in, what I want to do is force my fingers to be pushed out. So I'm going to breathe in, and you're going to feel some tension generate underneath your fingers. And your fingers, if I'm pressing into my sides here, are going to get pushed outward. And then like a balloon, like you think like you're just inflating your stomach, but you're inflating and everything opens up all the way around it. So that's step two. Once you've perfected just that belly breath, the next step, and that might take, just a day, that might take a week or longer, depending on where you're at and if you've ever used that diaphragm muscle. And then step two is to move into fingers on the side. The third step is to then put the fingers in the lower part of the abdominals, basically find your hip bones and just come about an inch in from those, pushing down there. And now the next step is to think about breathing not just up, not just out, but now breathing deep down into the lowest part of your belly. And then same idea, press in, and then as I breathe in, I want that lower part of my stomach to raise up, so I don't get as much of a belly breath full raise. I get more of kind of like a flowing down and raising up, like that. And then that's step three on your diaphragm breathing, and that is how to start to learn how to use your diaphragm to breathe. And then the next step, once you've mastered those lying down on your back, is to sit up in a chair or sitting on the ground and just get like this, and then go into the exact same process again. Breathe out, depress that rib cage, hand on the chest, hand on the belly, and just focus on breathing into the belly and then out through the belly. And don't let your chest raise up either this way or expanding out. And then if we can focus just on the belly, then the next step, hands on the side, next step, kind of into the lower belly area, and then go through those again. And then the next step is to then take that standing. And then once you master those 3 standing, then think about doing that while you're walking. Once you get that when you're walking, think about doing that when you're running. And then just build up on stop, but don't try and skip to the next step until you know that you've definitely perfected that good 10 to 15 quality breaths in a row before moving on to the next step. And that's what will allow you to really learn how to use that diaphragm to breathe, and that will benefit you literally in every other area of your performance, your fitness, your health.